Hey YouTube, this is Lisa and you're watching The Backward Glance, and I'm back with another What Sold Quickly on eBay video where I shared 10 items that I flipped within the first 30 days of being listed in my eBay store. Today is December 23rd and it has been a little while since I put a video out, and that is because December has not been good to me. November was excellent. It was one of my best months ever reselling. And then December kind of ground to a halt. So I'm looking forward to starting the new year and hopefully things will turn around a bit. In this video, I do have mostly apparel items. I think I have one jewelry item and a hard good, which is going to be my bonus item at the end. And I do have quite a few brands that are either a little bit lesser known or I just don't really hear other people talk about them. And so if you sell apparel, this might be a great video to learn some new brands. Starting in though with a brand that we all know and maybe love, Lululemon. I've been on a bit of a dry streak as far as sourcing Lulu, so I was happy to find these Studio 2 pants. I've sold this exact style of pant quite a few times now. I paid $4.21 for this pair and got my full asking price of $38. That took 6 days to sell. I'm making some sales over there. If you hear that noise, I don't know if my microphone will pick that up, but it's a good sound. And these still had the pull tag from the inside, which is great. Alright, this is a turquoise link bracelet that I picked up in a lot that I bought on eBay. This is the item from the lot that I was most interested in. I was really hoping it would be silver. It looked silver in the pictures, and the seller did not know whether it was silver and it wasn't marked. And so I took a little chance on that. I paid $32.69 for the lot, and unfortunately this was not silver. It was probably like alpaca or what they call nickel silver. I think I could have gotten more for it though, so I listed it for $38 and it did sell for my full asking price in just 1 hour. I was thinking if it was silver I would be listing it close to $100, so for future reference maybe I would have listed this a little bit higher. I think I will sell a few other things from that lot and make a little bit more of a profit on it, but I figured I'd take the chance and at least recoup my money, which I am fine with, so. Alright, item number 3, Willis and Geiger. I haven't found this brand in so long, and I found this button-down shirt and I was thinking like, oh, it's kind of a safari shirt, and I started typing in Willis and Geiger and eBay automatically filled in safari, so people are searching for these. I was kind of shocked for a cotton button-down in pre-owned condition at what the comps looked like. I paid just $2.25 for this. I sold it for my full asking price of $62. That took 4 days. Let me show you the tag on this if you happen to see it, and especially be on the lookout for jackets from this brand in the safari style. So as I was doing comps, I was just seeing like really good high comps for anything in the safari style, but especially the jackets. And I have personally sold just also like non-safari plaid button-down shirts of this brand, which don't go for quite as high, but they're still maybe a little bit higher than your average cotton button-down, so it's a good brand to know. Another brand I don't find too often, this is called Bryn Walker. Here is the tag from the inside of this sweater. This was a mix of, let's see, viscose, lamb's wool, nylon, cashmere, and angora. So just like a kind of a luxury knit. I paid $4.22 for this, and I got my full asking price of $38, and this took about 2 hours to sell, so I was really happy with that. Okay, I picked up this belt, and this was a Chico's belt. I did pay up for this a little. I was just at a consignment store, and I basically didn't think it was too much of a risk because I've typically done well with concho belts. They always, well, usually I should say, trying not to make everything so superlative and cut and dry, but I have typically sold them very quickly. So I picked this one up for $6.35. I sold it through offers to watchers for $22, and that took 9 days. And I think we're all familiar with Chico's, but that was imprinted on the inside there. And I will pick up these concho belts even if they have no brand, and even if they're not leather, they're just metal. Basically, if it has a concho on it and it doesn't look like ridiculously low quality, I can usually sell it. All right, a pair of Keens here, and I picked these up, and then I got very annoyed that I couldn't find the style name. I kind of hate when that happens, but they sold anyway. They were just a pair of like nubuck clogs, nothing too crazy special. I paid $3.17. I sold them for an offer of $20, and that took 26 days. And of course, I think Keen is a brand that we all know. Doesn't bring quite the prices that it did when I first learned about it, but still kind of just a dependable brand to pick up if you can get it for cheap. Another brand we all know is Adidas, and this was a true vintage jacket. Here's the tag from the inside, made in Taiwan, which is a good indication of being vintage. Also had no like web address or anything on the tag, so those are just two pretty good signs if you're looking for vintage. There's the front, and then I took the more interesting picture of the back there. I paid $5 for this. I listed it for $48. Had a few condition issues, otherwise maybe would have listed it even just a little higher. But I did get my full asking price, and it took just 2 days. And the cool thing is I believe this is going to a vintage clothing shop, so I'm pretty happy about that. Here's another brand I don't see very often. This is called Camper, and I was really hoping, again, that I could find the style name for these, but I couldn't. They were kind of hard to even describe, so I'm glad somebody found my listing and bought them. The other thing was, when I bought these, which was at a consignment store, the tongue of the shoe was like tucked in, and I didn't even realize it had a tongue. And then when I found the tongue in there, they had written in permanent marker right across the front, which is so annoying. They don't take returns at this store, and it's a long drive to get there, so I didn't know if that would stop someone from buying it or not, but I was pretty bummed to see that. I digress. Alright, I paid $4.22 for these and sold them for a best offer of $30. That took 26 days. Obviously, you saw the Camper logo on the tongue there, and then they're also marked on the bottom. Another pair of shoes, and this is a brand I had never heard of before. In fact, I saw these at the thrift store, and I didn't think that they looked super high quality per se, but they were handmade. Kind of like the tops looked high quality, but the soles didn't. They were just kind of a flat rubber sole, so the thrift store had them marked up just a little, and that piqued my interest, and I decided to look them up. So I don't know if I'm saying this right, but the brand is Saba, and they are handmade in Turkey, and wow, the comps looked great on these. So I scooped them up for $10.54. I listed them for $98 and sold them for my full asking price in just 3 hours. So I'm definitely keeping my eye out for these in the future. And item number 10, and then we'll do our bonus item, is this Carbon to Cobalt men's shirt. This is a brand that I haven't found in a long time, and about maybe a year and a half ago, this brand was definitely selling higher than it is now. But I looked this shirt up when I found it because I hadn't sold it in so long, and I wanted to know if the sell-through was still good. And actually, it has a very good sell-through rate, but the prices are going down. So I figured it was still worth it to pick up. I paid $4.22. I sold it for an offer to watcher for $20. That took just 1 day. I did get 3 of them, and 2 of them I still have. It hasn't been very long since I listed, so we'll see how those do. One note about this brand, though, is that the women's does not have a good sell-through rate. And in fact, I would consider it probably not worth picking up the women's unless it was like a really nice special piece or maybe a coat or something. But the men's stuff does have a good sell-through and definitely in this kind of size range. So if you don't know that brand, now you do. And our bonus item is a hard good, and it's an item that I sold at auction. This is a Red Wing planter. The line, I guess, was called Prismatique, and I had no idea. I saw it and it caught my eye. It just had like a cool sort of mid-century modern look. So I looked it up, and some of this collection can go for really high, like even over 200, I think was sort of the highest price range I was seeing. Um, but all the ones that were listed as auctions and had sold as auctions. None of them had gone unpurchased, so I figured it was a no-brainer to pick up for $3.15. I started the auction, I think around $30, hoping for about 10 times my money, and I was thrilled that it got bid up to 51. And I really just wanted to share this item because it's one of those things that maybe is sitting around your house or your relative's house, and it doesn't have like the style name on it, so you might not know how to look it up and to realize that the collection is very valuable. This one is one of the smallest pieces in the collection, which I think is why it didn't command quite such a high price. There's like taller versions and some different shapes that all have this very distinctive like folded pattern, and some of those are the ones that can go for like upwards of 100 or 200 bucks. So just a little bolo to keep your eye open for. And that is going to be it for me. Thanks a lot for sticking around and watching my video. As always, please feel free to like, comment, dislike, or subscribe to my channel. And if you're celebrating a winter holiday, or if you're not, have a great end to your year, and I will probably be back in January with another one of these. Thanks for watching.